Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's technical session. Oh, sorry, motivational session. Yes, and here we have the last part of the book, session 3. Remember, what got you here won't get you there. Yeah. So, um, we've been looking at this book for a while now. We've talked about the session 1, we've talked about the session 2, we've identified some attitudes and characters that might seem like a setback, which at first was a tool for success, but in the long run might turn to be a setback just because the inability to change, to adapt, to integrate some other things into our day-to-day activities and our attitude generally. So in this chapter 3, we'll be looking at some certain things that would help us such that the things that might want to hinder our progress would not have its place, but rather would be able to see ahead at what can help us move forward. So, yeah, the core message recap. So, this session deepens our understanding of how ingrained habits, while one beneficial, can become obstacles to future success. It emphasizes a critical shift in perspective. So, one, success habits can become roadblocks. The very behaviors that propelled you to your current level might now be holding you back from achieving more. That, like I said earlier, there are certain things that when we did them before now, they were the one that brought us to our current position. But subsequently, moving forward, those same habits, those very behaviors or habits might be the one that will hold us back from achieving more. Then behavioral change is paramount. True advancement requires a focus on altering subtle interpersonal habits, not just accumulating more skills and knowledge. With the way the world is going, with the way everything is moving, we feel so tempted to just want to acquire more skills, more knowledge. But sometimes the little things that really matter the most, yes, it's good to acquire more skills and knowledge. Of course, you don't want to be outdated, but sometimes the little things that really make the impact, that really changes things, like that gives that big picture, might be those interpersonal skills that you just need to alter a bit. You might have been someone to forward, but and it had been helping you, but right now at this current level might not be what would help you anymore. You might need to like adjust, look at it, what can I do better, what do I need to change, what do I need to improve on. So sometimes not by even changing your attitude, it could be improving it. And then beyond technical skills, so success at the next level is less about what you know and more about how you interact and lead. So it gets to a certain point where nobody is even interested in what you know anymore because they know you know it. So when it comes to knowing, they already know you know it, but what about other aspects? That's where people are now looking at. So it's no longer about, it's less about what you know. It's more about how you interact, how you lead, how do you handle things, how do you manage things, and not longer about your skills. So yeah, the paradox of success. Our past achievements, while validating, can inadvertently blind us to our own imperfections and the invaluable contribution of others. This I have succeeded. It was one major part of the book. Mindset can foster an overconfidence that leads to detrimental behaviors. You know, the author gave like three major points. There is the I have succeeded, there is the I will succeed, there is the there's this other thought, but I can't remember. As we go on, we look at it. But this I have succeeded, I say that if I could have achieved this in the past, then what is there? I'll definitely achieve it now. And as good it is to have self-confidence, to have self-assurance, to be self-dependent and all of that, there are times when that overconfidence, when it gets to the point of overconfidence, can be detrimental to our um, growing success. It is a subtle but powerful trap. The very motivation and self-belief that fuels ambition can also lead to taking on excessive risks or dismissing constructive criticism. So it gets to the point that if someone is trying to tell you about, oh, how you can do something like, well, this was how I did it and it worked out, and this kind of things can be detrimental to people wanting to give you feedback. They feel like, oh, he probably will say that he knows it, or she probably will say she knows it also. There's no point telling her, she's not even going to listen anyway. So Yeah, it might have worked in the past. Probably you shutting out people's opinion helped you move faster. But it gets to that point of success where you feel like you might have achieved, but really you've not. And what you might need for the next step might just be one thing someone would say, might just be one comment, one feedback from a colleague, from a leader, from someone you might not even have a close relationship with, but that noticed that thing and felt like it could be of help. The new change necessitates a commitment to honest self-reflection and a willingness to actively seek and incorporate feedback from those around us. So it's not just about seeking for this feedback, it's also about incorporating. There is no point if you seek feedback and people give you feedback, but nothing is changing. The whole point is that when they give you that feedback, you're actually making use of it, like something is actually changing. Then people would even feel more encouraged to want to give more of those constructive feedback. The more successful you are, the more opportunities you have to be right, and the less you are corrected when you are wrong. Um, okay, so the 20 habits that hold leaders back. So he mentioned 20 major habits that actually hold people back. Like after achieving a certain height of success, there's a point where you get to that you yourself, you're already a leader. It doesn't matter the position. It doesn't have to be like you're the overall leader, but like in that capacity, you're now a leader. But there's some habits that hold you back. And one of such is winning too much. The relentless need to win at all costs often eliminates colleagues and subordinates, hindering collaboration. So at every point in time, you just want to win. A discussion is going on, you just want your opinion to be the most accepted. A debate is going on, you just want your points to be the one that you're the one that wins the most, like you're the one that laugh last, like people would say, like who laughs last. Anything, no matter the situation, just ensure that your voice is at the top of the room, so nobody else gets to win. As far as you're there, you are the only one who wins. Such it hinders collaboration. Others would want to draw back and say, let me continue winning, and it's not a very good thing. Adding too much value. Yeah, constantly interjecting over explaining can adversely devalue others' contributions and ideas. So this adding too much value is that even places where your comment is not even needed, you just want to say something. And now it doesn't mean that you shouldn't contribute to discussions, you shouldn't contribute to issues around, but it's just saying that be cautious, courtesy. When people are talking, you give them the room to fully explain themselves. You don't want to always make others feel like their opinion is nothing, that it is you that knows it all and it is only your opinion that sounds better. And then passing judgments. A persistent critical stance can shut down open dialogue and inhibit creative problem solving within a team. And this is about criticizing people's opinion. Good, bad, ugly, fine. Just always having something negative to say. It doesn't mean that when you see that, oh, someone's opinion is not so accurate, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't point it out, but there's a way you point things out that it doesn't have to sound like you're judging the person. It doesn't have to sound like you're countering the person. You're just trying to make the person say, oh, okay, we could look at this in a different perspective. Have you considered this? Have you considered that? But not saying, no, you are wrong. No, 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 that can't work. It's inhibits creative because people would not want to even give their suggestion. They feel like, oh, it's going to be shut down. And then making destructive comments, sarcasm, negativity, or dismissive remarks actively demotivate teams and erode psychological safety. So you've gone past just passing normal judgment and saying, oh, it's wrong with this. But you now go as far as even probably in another instance, you would not, just like that person said, which was a very wrong thing to say, which was a very bad thing to say, which was a very stupid thing to say. And you keep referring to such, and the comments are nothing to encourage the person. These are habits that one should stay clear of. Also, starting with no, but, or however. There are some certain phrases that you don't even have to complete your sentence, and the other person already knows what is going to happen. It already has its conclusion. These phrases immediately kill momentum and enthusiasm in conversations, creating resistance. So we need to be careful when we're making statements. We should be careful of not starting with a no. No matter what you say, once you start with no, it already shows to the person that, guy, your contribution is not needed, it's not going to be followed. Or but, or however. There are other phrases you could use that doesn't have to be no, but, or however. There could be instances where you could say, what about we? How about we? Can we? These are things that gives room for suggestion. These are things that gives room for, oh, okay, I want to actually hear your point of view, but I want you to also see this perspective. It doesn't have to be, no, 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 this can't work. Obviously, I tell the person to keep quiet. Telling the world how smart you are. Constant self-promotion eliminates colleagues and fosters resentment. So you always showing to others what you've achieved, always telling them, oh, before you came in, do you know what I've done? Do you know this is what I've done? And all of that. Yeah, people know. People read track records. Everybody's aware. They don't need you putting in their face that this is what you're doing, that this is what you've done. You don't have to show how smart you are. Sometimes you just need to allow other people to shine their light. Speaking when hungry. Oh, this is beyond just the professional world. Like, we need to be careful of how we respond, how we communicate when we're hungry. Most times, the best thing when hungry is just, you might even want to like just leave that conversation at that moment. Try to calm yourself, take deep breath, and then come back when you're calm to respond. But if you respond at the heat of the moment, it damages relationship that your sorry might not be able to cover up. And then withholding information. So some people feel like, oh, if I share this knowledge, if I share this information, oh, this person will be seen as more valuable than I am. This person would get the recognition that I want. And so rather than allowing others get information that could aid their work or that could help them in delivering their deliverables, they would rather hold it back just because they want to be seen as they know it all. Why these habits matter more at the top? As individuals ascend the leadership hierarchy, even seemingly minor behavioral quirks become amplified, having an outside impact on overall team and organization effectiveness. So what this is saying that these habits were things that you were doing before you became a leader. And nobody might have might have been conscious of it. Like, people might have seen, but they just overlook it. Who even knows this one? Who sends this one? Like, people might not even take it to heart. Like, they're just like, that's that problem, that's his problem, that's that problem. But when it comes to you being at that leadership position, eyes are on you. People are looking at you, they are wanting to see every little detail to talk about, to criticize you. So those behavior that they overlooked when we're just a normal colleague, we're just a low-level staff and all of that, when it gets to that point where you're now a leader, eyes are on you and they just want to see the faults in you. So those habits that you feel like, but I've been doing them, I always shout to people, I always shout on people, I always say my mind. So why isn't that an issue now? Is it because you're now a leader? And those habits needs to be much more refined. You have to refine your attitude, your behavior. The higher you go, the more your behavior is observed and imitated, making every action a leadership statement. So everything you do, people are like, are you not the leader? The change process, Goldsmith formula. Changing imagined ingrained habits requires a structured and consistent approach. Marshall Goldsmith's formula provides a clear roadmap. So the first one is identify one key habit. Change can be hard. Change is not as easy as it sounds, but sometimes you just need a process, you just need a routine to help you when you need to change. So the first thing is identify one key habit. So this time around, yes, you've identified like there are 10 different habits that you've been doing that is not so good. But you don't want to say you want to change everything. No, that would be you being unrealistic. But first, identify one key habit. Focus on just one habit. Pick one at a time. Oh, I always speak when I'm hungry and it's never good. Like, it doesn't bring the best result. Oh, I want to change this. I want to learn how to not speak when I'm angry. Identify that habit. You've identified that anger is a habit. Apologize and seek help. Let people know that, yes, I know that I've always spoken harshly when I'm angry and it hasn't been good. I'm sorry, but are there ways we could support each other? And then listen and think. So get their feedback. They could have something to say that, oh, you're not the only one who deal with anger, but this is how we do it. Learn from them. Thank them. Appreciate them for their honesty. And then follow up consistently. Try to check in and say, oh, this week, did you notice me speaking when I was angry? feedback is very good. And so this is the change process that he gave in his book. But it's not limited to this. Things work for us differently, but this is just a much more consistent way of changing. And then there's a real world example about a CEO habitually exhibiting the winning too much trait, often dominating meetings and stealing innovative ideas from the team. And later, the leader learns to practice active listening and open-ended question, delegate effectively and empower team members to lead initiatives, celebrate team success more visibly than individual accomplishment. The outcome was transformative. Of course, change brings about a change. So when you yourself change, there's a change in the environment and it helps a lot more. So what are the practical takeaways for you and me? Implementing this insight into your own professional life can drive significant personal and career development. So seek regular, honest feedback, focus on one behavioral change, redefine success beyond actions. So it is not just about what you think, but now seek honest feedback and focus on one behavioral change at a time. So closing thoughts and call to action. Embrace the journey. There is still more ahead. You've not gotten to the peak. There is always another higher ground from the one where you are. No matter how high you think you've gotten to, there is always somewhere higher. So embrace the journey. There's a long way to go. And don't allow the comfort of past achievement to obscure the vast potential for future growth. The path forward demands continuous self-awareness and a proactive commitment to intentional change. So what has helped you in the time past might not necessarily help you now. So you want to be self-aware. You want to know what's going on around, what is really working, what is not working. So what got you here, what gets you there, or what you change will. So even though the things that got you might not get you there, but the changes that you bring in will definitely help you to get there. So thank you so much for listening and have a good day.